Hey loves, I was thinking, and I think it's about time for a tribute to the books I never finished. So, first up has to be All the King's Men. That was actually assigned for school, and I ended up using Spark Notes for the second half of it. Let's see, about as far as I got. It actually wasn't a bad book. I probably would have enjoyed finishing it. Alright, next up, Brave New World. I borrowed that from my English teacher, because I wanted to read it since our class isn't, but haven't finished it yet. I borrowed it a couple months ago. I should probably be getting it back. Next up, I don't know if this really counts because it's short stories, but there's some Lovecraft. I feel like I should read all of them, and I haven't. But I've read the Call of Cthulhu several times. Good stuff. Next. Faust. I actually started this book twice, and I loved it both times, and I never finished it. Yeah. This just marks the footnotes. Around the same time I started that the first time, I also started Inferno. Dante's Inferno. It's pretty good. Both of these are actually about half the length they appear because Faust is German on the left pages, and Inferno is, I think, Italian on the left pages, so they actually wouldn't have been that hard to finish. Next, we have 1984. Started that one 2 or 3 times as well. Never got very far. Interview with the Vampire. Who doesn't like a good vampire novel, right? And this is kind of the cornerstone. But, didn't finish it. Started that one a few times, too. The Da Vinci Code. Modern classic. Didn't finish that. Only started it once, but I liked it. Otherland. This is actually only Volume 1, City of Golden Shadow. You can see here how far I got. One of the best books I ever started, and never finished. Lord of the Rings. I read The Hobbit. I started Fellowship of the Ring a couple times. Never made it to the Two Towers or the Return of the King. Should probably do that. Beowulf. When I heard the movie was coming out recently, I thought, oh, well, I better read the book, because it's a classic. Well, it's a poem. It's not really a... well, it's in a book right now. So, yeah, I started that. Got about halfway. Happens a lot. Let's see. The Crystal Shard by R.A. Salvatore. Salvatore is actually a really good author. I read the Dark Elf trilogy all the way through, actually, and they were all good. But until I finish that one, I can't move on to the next 2. I should get on that. Lord of the Flies. Extremely interesting book. Started it twice. I got further the second time than I did the first time, but I still haven't finished it. Aragon. I got pretty far in that. Yeah. Not sure how far, but I did get pretty far. I was pretty close to the end, I think. Riddle Master trilogy. I got this as a present last Christmas, or maybe the one before, from my brother's girlfriend. She knows her fantasy, but, yeah. I think I made it to the beginning of the third book. I want to finish that, too. I'd like to finish all of these. War of the Worlds. I barely started that. But it's a classic. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Absolutely hilarious. Love it. Didn't finish. This is actually a multi-book collection. I think I got to So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, but I'm not certain. I'm gonna have to restart that sometime. Communion. Oh. There. I started that. It's actually probably my least favorite of the books here that I started and haven't finished. It's interesting, but I don't know. It's not that great. The Odyssey. Started that, didn't get very far. And I actually have the Iliad, which I haven't even started. And I should probably read all of that before I start the Odyssey again. Picture of Dorian Gray. I know what it's about, but I only read like the first 2 pages. I have no idea why I didn't keep going with it. And finally, last but not least, the Zombie Survival Guide. This one was hard to find. I was looking for it for a very long time, and I finally did. And the blue one is where I was, about a quarter of the way through. And I definitely need to read that, because if the zombies attack, I'm not going to know what to do if I'm only a quarter of the way through the survival guide. But yeah, right now that's what I've got for books that I've started and never finished. And I don't know, I feel kind of embarrassed because there's so many of them. Yeah, I should probably get on that. And to think, all those great books that I've never finished, and I actually read the entire Harry Potter series. Does that make sense?